Aquarius workshop, the illusory fear of pain. I start with a quote from Pathwork Lecture 105 with the title Man's Relationship to God. And the quote is as follows. It is man's complete illusion to believe that pain and suffering are terrible in themselves. Man's inordinate fear of suffering is utterly unrealistic and, again, a product of the mind in error. Man fears pain and suffering mainly because he believes he has nothing to do with it, that it can come without his being responsible for it. End of quote from Pathwork Lecture 105. On this path we will discover that all fears are based on illusions, and that fear is completely unnecessary. We will realize that when we feel fear, it is a lie. Fear clouds our vision, blinding us to the love and the joy of life. Fear of pain is a no to pain, a pseudo-strength that arises from weakness and a forcing current that we must have it our way. We create a prison of illusions and delusions to avoid pain. These illusions make us unhappy, confused, desperate, tense, hostile, and anxious. And we project these emotions onto the outside world. We distrust reality because it does not match our illusions. Maintaining the illusory fear of pain causes tension on a physical, mental, and emotional level. It is precisely this cramping that causes pain on all levels. Because of the illusory fear of pain, we end up in a vicious circle of artificially exaggerated fear, cramping, and pain. Recognizing, feeling, and transforming fear of pain broadens consciousness, increases self-esteem, and brings us into contact with truth and reality. For to the extent that we lose the illusory fear of pain because we can tolerate pain, pain will cease to exist. Without fear of pain, we can stand up for ourselves. We are no longer afraid of confrontation, and we have true flexible strength. In this workshop, we will explore, with a loving curiosity, 3 fundamental themes of the Pathwork Lectures regarding the illusory fear of pain. The first theme. Fear of pain creates images and vicious circles. Consciously or unconsciously, we are constantly afraid of pain, and we try with all our might to suppress, ignore, or avoid it. As a result of painful experiences, we have created rigid images and vicious circles out of defense. We resist pain because when we experience pain, we believe the world is ending. The illusory fear of pain is much worse than the pain itself, and that includes physical pain. Intellectually, we may know that pain is an illusion, but the immature part experiences pain as a form of dying. The next quote stems from Pathwork Lecture 40. There are certain people who have such control over their minds and bodies that they can endure dreadful injuries without feeling any pain. They have learned to accept the oncoming pain, accepting it without any revolt, giving themselves up to it. Thus they are in a state of relaxation to such a high degree that what would ordinarily hurt badly does not hurt anymore. End of quote of Pathwork Lecture 40. The second theme. Fear of pain is fear of the unknown. When we fear something and blindly avoid that fear so that we no longer know what we are afraid of, then that fear produces the very conditions we fear. But those feared circumstances are the only way to be convinced that that fear is an illusion. The fear of the unknown diminishes when we face and outright acknowledge that fear and understand the unknown aspect of it. We cannot overcome fear unless we courageously take the leap into the unknown and move through it. The next quote stems from Pathwork Lecture 130. Pain is inordinately feared only when one does not know where it will lead, when one suspects something dangerous on it, a serious disease and finally death. If it is known that the pain will not bring any threat to one's safety, it can be borne in a relaxed state of mind and thus cease to be pain. When you meet your fears and squarely acknowledge them, it is important to understand and specifically ascertain the unknown element about it. End of quote from Pathwork Lecture 130. The third and last theme, moving through pain resolves pain. Because we strongly reject our painful childhood experiences out of fear, we continue to defend ourselves by denying that pain. Those situations from our childhood are repeated over and over again later in life until we learn to open ourselves to what we fear and move through the pain so that the pain can dissolve. We need to realize that we can experience pain without falling apart. When we are no longer afraid of ourselves, of the pain, then we can stand up for ourselves and are receptive to the abundance of the universe. The last quote stems from Pathwork Lecture 191. When you are afraid of pain or loneliness, or your pride being hurt, or rejection or disappointment, or frustration of your desires, your will, your need, in all these possibilities, the primary feeling is fear. Fear that any of these undesirable events may happen. Only when you experience what you fear will you really experience the pain of it. The pain of rejection or of being lonely or of whatever. So we are dealing basically with a fear of pain. When the fear is given up or rather gone into, the pain can be experienced. And only then will the pain genuinely dissolve and you will have mastered a slice of life that you no longer need to avoid. End of quote from Pathwork Lecture 191. I wish you peace and all the best. Thank you.